Hello, hello. 2023 is here. Almost. Not quite. But we're getting there. Welcome to our show. My name is Todd. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen.
Hello.
We are the co-owners of Hello Hair Co. and Hello Hair Pro. You're listening. What was that? You're listening to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. This episode is brought to you by Ping Pong Design and Marketing, we'll get there. So this episode's going to go live on December 5th. So we're talking first week of December, which kicks off the final month of the year, 2022.
Crazy.
So we've got 3 quick topics to touch on today as our mission of brief episodes continues because we're busy. Everyone's busy. We did an episode on busyness and how you feel. Well, go back and listen to it. We're keeping these brief.
Yeah.
Business is like this an illusion, but it's real when you're in it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So today we're talking about pivoting and how it's okay to pivot. We're going to jump into planning for a rainy or, in our case, snowy day here in the Northeast. And then finally, we'll round out with setting yourself up to conquer 2023.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about pivoting real quick.
Let's.
You want to start? You want me to start?
I'll start with, we're here. Hello Hair Pro is going to give you permission to
I love it.
do whatever it is you need to do to make yourself happy or feel successful or feel the feels that will make you smile. And I think sometimes people just need to know, sometimes they just need permission. Like I say, go do it. Go do it. Be smart about it, but go do it. There's nothing wrong with making yourself happy or making strives to get there. And you may fall on your face on a few of those, but it's okay. Get back up and keep going.
Yeah. So I want to start off with saying that if you've tried things and they didn't work, or you feel stuck doing something, maybe that you launched and didn't quite work out how you pictured it, congratulations. Mm-hmm. You tried something and now you're in the position to pivot. I think the first thing you should do is recognize the importance and the value that comes with innovation, which is really what you're doing when you try new things with your business. I think businesses need to constantly be evolving and adapting, or you're going to become complacent, which is something that we talk about often here too. Complacency is one of the silent killers of business.
Yes.
Because you don't see it coming, but then 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're still doing the same thing, still wondering why it's not working. Right.
I was going to say it's too late. It's never too late. You can always reinvent yourself and pivot, but it's a lot harder when you've been sitting there for a long time because it feels way scarier. If you're doing it often, it becomes more normal to you. So you're ready for the next one, or you understand that you may be riding the wave up, but then there's going to be a time where you have to make a change and you're sort of, how to embrace that better.
So you're talking about how you're always going to have the lows and the highs, regardless. Yeah. You're never going to stay on the high the whole time.
Right.
And you're never going to stay on the low the whole time unless you decide to.
Right. And that's the complacency part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if you're always...
Well, it's our show, so it's our opinion.
My opinion is my opinion. If you're always pivoting or at least looking to what's next and what can I do to make my business better, then when those lows come, they don't feel as low because you understand what happens next and the growth that comes out of it. Or you hit that bottom and you're like, all right, I realize I have to pivot. What did I do wrong? What do I need to change so I don't get back to this spot again? And what can I do better next time? And you just start to think in that way. So your low doesn't always, it might feel as low, but you don't stay there as long.
I like that. Mm-hmm. And it's true. We've had highs and lows of all sorts of businesses.
Oh, yeah. It's not easy.
You're exactly right. It's maybe not that it's as low, but you're not there as long. Mm-hmm. So it feels better. Yeah. In a way. Yeah. It still feels awful. Stuff happens. Stuff goes bad. And you're like, that's it. Lock the door. I am done. And then reality kicks in. Yeah. You take your pause and you sleep on it or whatever. And you wake up the next morning and you're like, wow, nothing has changed. I thought my business was done. Nothing's changed. Mm-hmm. Or I thought I was never going to be able to overcome this. Nothing's really changed. Or you're proactive and you identify the opportunities in the situation.
What can I do out of it?
Yeah.
I always come out. So in the beginning of my career, I literally Most of my career, I've lived in this house with you. So the beginning of my career,
half maybe.
I was going to say more when I was like kind of on my own and starting businesses and stuff. But shit would happen and I would be in the closet crying. Like I couldn't handle anything. Like everything was just the worst thing ever. And now when things happen, I have my moments. I get it out. I feel what I have to feel. And I generally within the 24-hour mark have great, amazing ideas or great plans or get like re-inspired and fired up, like ready to go. And that is exciting because that used to take me wicked long time to get to. Or I didn't even think that was possible. I was just like, I'm done. That's it. I'm over. And now it's just shorter and I have better ideas after.
Yeah, it's all in how you react to the situations. I don't have an example, but things come up like whatever happens to your business. Use that as like a pause, like it's a forced pause.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the universe. I'm not trying to get all woo here, but it's like the universe is saying like, hey, Jen, hey, Todd, chill the fuck out for a second.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It's just that you need a pause. You need to chill out.
Absolutely.
So here you go. Here's a curveball. And then what are you going to do next? And as you progress through entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it, I feel like that's just kind of a buzzword now, but as you progress through leadership or business ownership or whatever you want to call it, you're going to get better at navigating those twists and turns.
Absolutely. We had a situation with our sinks. This is silly, but it's a big deal when you're a business owner because
it's a big deal when you're a salon business owner.
Two out of our three sinks were leaking, and we knew it's very difficult to find a really great plumber. Period. So we knew that they weren't... At least here in our area. Yes. And so we knew the plumbing was not done well, but, you know, it passed inspection with the town and everything like that. So we had somebody come out and look, and they were pretty much just like, you're going to have to redo all of this plumbing.
Just so we're clear, too, it's not that we knew it wasn't done well because we were trying to skate around things. We didn't know what we were looking at.
Right.
And the plumber, the third plumber we had said this is all set.
Right.
When it wasn't all set, the next plumber or group of plumbers actually were like, no, this is not all set. Yeah. This is not how it should have been from the beginning. But we didn't know what we were looking at. We're not fucking plumbers.
Yeah, you hire people hoping that you've hired the right people.
So sorry, but...
We lived and learned. So then it was sort of this, like, everybody's busy. So what are we going to do? And then the leak was getting worse and worse. And so we have a plumber we use at the house. He referred someone to us, and I'm like, can you just come out and look at this? Like, do you have time? And he's like, he came out, and within an hour, the sinks were fixed. Yeah. Everything was great. And he's like, no, you're good. You're good to go. If you need anything, just holler. And so there was a point there where it was like, oh my God, are we redoing all our sinks? How are we going to shut down? What are we going to do? And we're like, let's just get a second opinion and see where we're at. And this guy was great at innovating and working with what we had and just making it better. But, you know, there's a lot of times I think where you need to pivot, you freeze. And rather than make a move, you're just frozen because you don't know what to do. But that just means you have to phone the right person that might be able to help you, which in our case was a different plumber.
Right. And a little cautionary tale real quick. We took over this space. It was previously a salon. And the plumbing was where the plumbing was.
Right.
We decided... that's where it should be best, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, why would it be there?
Right.
So we kept it there. Looking back,
should have just tore it all out.
We might as well, money-wise, tore it all out and put it wherever we wanted to. Because we spent the money that they said we were saving.
Right. Right.
Interesting.
Again, you live and you learn how to pivot, and it doesn't crush your whole entire
So if you are building out a salon... and you go into a space and they tell you this is the plumbing, this is where it was for the last salon. If you happen to be in a space that was a salon previous or whatever, question that.
Right.
Question that.
It may
and that's
not
actually
be
good
more
because,
expensive to move it.
Right. And that's good because we're helping mentor somebody through this right now. Mm-hmm. So somebody's opening a salon and it's going to be awesome. But I will drive there personally and make sure the plumbing is...
Oh my gosh.
Is all set. Not that I know what I'm looking at. All right. So I do think sometimes owners become stuck in this paralysis-by-analysis stage where they're constantly thinking this could be good, but what if it's not?
Right.
I could make this better, but what if it fails? And here's the trick to that. Don't be willing to die on the hill for your ideas. So you have this idea and you're like, I really want this. I really want this to work. And you're willing to fail.
Right.
Just to say that you did that. Or you're willing to like hold your business back just to say that you did something.
Right.
If you've implemented something and you've measured it with the metrics that you've laid out, which you should do, and it's not benefiting your business, make a change.
Right. You're in charge. You're allowed. We're giving you permission.
Yeah. And again, where's my notes? Having beliefs is cool and you should have all your foundations laid out. But if something isn't producing, are you willing to lose your business? Or are you willing to make less money simply so that you could say that you were part of this movement or you did something this way, or you tried something new? And that's cool. But so is making money.
Yeah. Try it out. If it's not working, that means you can change it.
And you should.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Anything else on that one?
No.
All right. Let's plan for a rainy day. I keep saying rainy day, but yeah, because that's the saying, right?
Yeah. Here in New England, though, you know you're going to get a snow day. Everyone's going to cancel. And even if they don't, 90% of them are. And you should just cancel that last one and take the snow day. But you need to have some reserves in order to do that.
Yeah. So sorry for the pause. My mic was off. So yeah, I mean, we're approaching winter here.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And winter will be in December, right? Yeah, this month. So we live in the Northeast. That means snow, ice, stormy conditions, the whole lot of it.
Power outages,
road closures, the government recommending you stay off the roads, all those things, right?
And even if not, maybe
cars getting stuck.
Yeah, there's a snowstorm coming and you don't like to drive in the snow. So just plan to not be in. You don't have to go in for that one person. Wait till the snow melts. Go on the sunny day.
So you mentioned that you should be sticking aside some funds to cover closures.
Yeah, have a reserve. Absolutely.
Yes. So if you're a salon owner, you probably want to start to build up a reserve somewhere. And you should have, if you've been open for 3 years or more, you probably should have learned that shit when we had the pandemic.
Yes. Correct.
Don't be the hair pro that's pissed off because you braved the weather to come out and your clients felt safe or staying off the roads.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've been doing this for 23 years.
All the salty pros.
Like, my clients are diehards. They do show up. But what I will say, I noticed over the last few years, like some of our staff would come in and none of theirs show up. So they just drove in. It took them an hour to get there and everybody canceled. And then I'm the only one working. And I'm like, this is not fun. So word to the wise, don't even bother. Just move them to a different day and enjoy the day off. Drink your hot cocoa and watch the snow fall and actually maybe enjoy the snow because you don't have to go out in it.
For sure. Yeah, a little bit of preparation and you're not going to be impacted by a day or two. I understand there could be certain things that impact your business that you don't see. So there have been times here where businesses are closed for 2 weeks at a time. We've seen it in the past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's not common, but it's in the back of our minds here.
Yep.
There could be a region crippling ice storm at any moment. We learned that, I think it was in 2008.
Yeah.
When we lived in the townhouse.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
And we were shut down, I believe, for 12 days. There was like no power or minimal power. Yeah, and we had to drive like 2 towns over to even find a place to grab like a coffee or lunch or whatever. There was nothing. And now, if you think ahead and you're like, all right, I have enough for a couple of days. Well, how do you build it up for a couple of weeks?
Right.
How do you build those reserves? I'm not sure how you do it. I mean, I am, but you have to
mentor and figure it out. But
you have to figure out what works for your business and what does that look like. Yeah. So if you built up a day or two, you could build up a week or two. If you build up a week or two, you could build up a month or two. And that's what you should be doing with your business. And that's going to sort of weatherproof it.
Absolutely.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah. And then if you make it through the winter with no snow days or very few or whatever that looks like, then you'd honestly, like, you will be less salty when people cancel last minute or something comes up because you have the money to support yourself. And it just makes your business that you're running more solid. Or if you work for somebody, same thing, your clients cancel, you're like, you know what? I have the money to take today off. I'm just going to enjoy it. Right. And you just look at business differently when you are able to do that.
Well, when you get to that position, you're not like, where am I going to fit these people?
Right.
It doesn't really matter.
Right.
Where would every other business fit you?
Right.
I understand we're in the business of taking care of people, making people feel good, but we're also human beings. Mm-hmm. And we also are dealing with the weather and all the things that come along with it too.
Yeah, I think if you have a bit of a reserve, and if you have a large one, even better, but your perspective will change because you have that, and you feel more freedom in your life when you have that.
Yeah, I was going to say less bound.
Yeah. Yep.
To your and there's nothing wrong with clients if you're listening that you want to come in on a snow day and get your hair done.
Yeah, sometimes I actually do think it's fun.
Sometimes it's fun if it's snowing and it's not crazy. I mean, generally how we decide is if the government says stay off the road, we're off the road. Mm-hmm. Or if it's one of those storms where they're like, this could be bad, we don't know.
Right.
Just being in southern New Hampshire, we're in a weird spot too, that sometimes the storms brush past us, I think because of the valley, and sometimes we get absolutely hammered.
Yeah, you never know.
And so sometimes we just make the call and we'll stay home with the kids and play outside or whatever.
Have hot cocoa.
And have hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
That's our son, Ollie.
Yes.
Hi, buddy. All right. So setting up for 2023. We'll close out with this.
Let's conquer it.
Yeah, conquer.
I like that word.
It's on our...
Cocoa.
Yeah.
we can have hot cocoa
hot cocoa
after this. It's on our family rules downstairs.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my gosh, yes.
It's a Bob Marley quote. I don't come to bow, I come to conquer.
Yes, I love that.
All right, so I think I'm going to really work on this saying, I think, because it's
still stuck on
it's
it.
my new
All right. So what's the first thing you should do to conquer 2023?
The first step, in my opinion, is
I agree.
You have to evaluate 2022.
Yeah. How do you even know where you're going if you don't know what you did or what went on?
Did you reach your goals? Do you even know? Do you have your numbers?
Did you not even have any? And maybe now it's time you're like, I'm inspired to create some. Well, you still need to reevaluate 2022 to create whatever you need for 2023.
Correct. For sure. The next step, I would say, would be to get with your accountant and plan. And earlier when we were doing like the pre-show little chat that we do where we run through our thoughts and notes, you had said get with someone and plan. And I was like, beep.
Yeah, you beeped me right out.
Get with your accountant.
Yes.
If you don't have an accountant, get one. Don't talk to your friend. Don't talk to someone that used to own a business.
No, in this case, you need someone that knows numbers, understands current. That's an accountant.
Yes. Ollie. Yeah, you want a professional. And no offense. And I understand that people out there can help and whatever. And it's not that people are being malicious, but little mistakes could set you back a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it.
Hiring the right people is a way to avoid that.
Yes. Bad advice is rampant, not just in this industry. Don't get me wrong. In every industry. Yeah. And people are always trying to take shortcuts, make the most money, all that stuff, right? And we're trying to make the most money too, but you have to get with your accountant and make sure that you're on the right track. That will
help you make the most money. Don't think, I don't want to spend the money on an accountant. They're too expensive. They are not too expensive.
Too expensive to not have one.
Yes, it is. I would absolutely agree.
Same thing as a lawyer.
Yep. Agreed there too.
So the next thing I would say that you should do is to go back to your basics. So as a business owner, I'm guessing that you're not in the position that you've hired and brought on a board. So you don't have a CEO.
Right.
You assume that role. You are chief executive officer of your little small business, whether it's one chair or it's 49 chairs.
Right.
Irrelevant. You're the CEO. Part of the CEO's roles are to revisit the mission, vision, and core values and decide how you can drive those forward. Mm-hmm. Does anything need to be changed?
Right.
Is it working? Does your staff, do your employees understand the mission and the vision of the company?
Right.
Do you live your core values, or are you trying to fit them in because you thought the word looked cool?
Right. It's a great time to revisit all of those. Mm-hmm. Yes. And if they just looked cool on your website and you reevaluate 2022 and you realize maybe what your purpose is, or maybe what you set out to do and what you're actually doing are very different, then just change them up. Change them up so they fit what you actually are doing. So they're actually relevant to who you are now or where you want to drive your business in 2023.
Yes, ma'am. I had another thought on that and then completely spaced it. But, I was just going to say, like, don't constantly change your mission and vision just to suit you where you're at. So if you're doing random things and random things are happening,
right.
we're not saying, we'll just change your vision and your mission and then you're all set because it fits. That's not what we're saying.
That's a different world.
But things do change.
Yes.
Maybe your mission changes. Maybe who you serve changes. Maybe you've pivoted and you offer different services now and your mission changes. Not a big deal. Or it is a big deal. It's not a big deal that they're changing. It is a big deal that you are active with making those changes.
Right. That's why I always say it's like a living document.
Right. Goals is a huge one. We talked about them last week on the podcast. Write out your goals and then break them way down.
Yes. Really important.
You should write out your yearly goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, whatever. And then you can break those down from, let's look at a year. Break those down into quarters, break those down into months, break those down into weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then each week, you know what you have to do each day to reach that goal.
Correct.
Stack up those weeks, you have a month. Stack up those months, you have a quarter. And just keep going.
And that's your success because now you have consistency.
It's repetitions.
Yes.
We say it all the time. And the reason we say it all the time is because it's that important.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do the little things to get to your goals daily,
right,
you won't get that compounding effect. And that compounding effect is huge for businesses.
That's where the success happens.
Or for anything.
Yes.
And then you had one final one.
Yes. Find an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
Because I see it very often, even with people we mentor, and they have all of these goals. And so, we reevaluate and it's like, well, just because you wrote them down in your 5 different notebooks and make them look pretty.
I remember this conversation. It was 4 notebooks.
It was 4 notebooks. But if you're not actually doing it or no one's holding you accountable, you feel like you took an actionable step by putting it in your notebooks, but you didn't actually take a step in real life. So I think that's where having somebody that holds you accountable, that checks in, and maybe if you have your quarter goal and you've broken it down into months or weeks, have that person check in weekly or have them check in monthly, whatever keeps you on task, because it's really important to create the consistency there so that by that first quarter in 2023, you've hit your first goal. And when you hit that, it's just a lot easier to roll into the second quarter and now make the next goal. And then before you know it, you're at the end of the year and everything you laid out, you've either hit it all or majority of it. And it almost feels like it was too easy. But it wasn't. You just did the work consistently and kept doing it and made that progress. And small progress equals big progress by the end of the year.
It compounds.
But you can't get to December and be like, I got to catch up. Like, it's not happening.
No. It's too late.
You're too late.
It's too late for this year.
Now you're going to reevaluate for the following year. And now you're a year behind.
If you haven't started yet, use December 2022 as a bonus month for quarter 1.
For next year.
Just start your habits now.
Yes.
Start working on your goals now, and you'll reach your end of year goals faster and sooner. And it'll be great.
Agreed.
Yeah, buy yourself some time for a rainy day.
Or a snowy one.
And avoid that complacency. It's really easy to be like, I can skip this today. Don't have too many of those skip days. It's okay to have days off. It's okay to take days.
Absolutely.
It's okay to have, you get sick. I'm getting over a little illness here. Non-COVID related. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally fine to have off days, off months. You can have off years. You can have years where you don't hit your goals when you're looking at a 30-year business plan.
Right.
But you don't want to hang out there too long. I love it. Anything else?
No.
All right. So this episode was brought to you by Ping Pong Design and Marketing. If you want to love your website or you're looking for more clients to fill your business, reach out to Ping Pong. They are offering our audience a special discount.
Ping Pong.
Check out the show notes. Reach out to Chris about your needs. And that's it. Go 2023.
Setting up some goals.
Reach out if you need help.
Yes.
Talk soon.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
We have more episodes coming out before.
I'm going to say happy holidays all of them.
I love it. Happy holidays.